Hey guys, back with part 4 of my story time. So where did we leave off? We left off, Sarah and Bob had just had their baby. Oh, I look rough, y'all. I just got off work. And I'm freezing. You know, shout out to your girl. She done lost 55 pounds, so she always cold now. Okay, so anyway, back to what I was saying. They brought the baby home. The baby was born early. Little boy, Supreme. Okay. Sarah develops postpartum. She gets postpartum really, really bad. I mean, really bad. And it doesn't help that Bob is not helping her. You know, he's not taking into consideration that postpartum is a disease. She's sick. Like, she needs help, and he's not helping her. He doesn't do anything with the baby. He don't get up at night. Yeah, Sarah breastfed, but Bob could have got up when that baby cried and changed them diapers, or, you know what I'm saying, got the baby for her, you know, put the baby next to her so she wouldn't have had to get up. Baby cry, Bob roll over it. Like, are you really being inconvenienced? Because Sarah been the one with the baby all day. Not to mention, she had to get up at the butt crack of dawn to take you to work, or wake up out of whatever little bit of sleep she got to pick you up super late at night for work with this newborn. Okay. Sarah found herself crying a lot in Kroger parking lots because she was so stressed out and so tired. And even her doctor told her, Sarah, you need to get some sleep. You're tired. That is why you're in this postpartum so hard. You need some rest. But how was Sarah supposed to get sleep? She didn't have no help. And she was exhausted. Not to mention, Sarah's blood pressure shot up after she had the baby. So now she's having blood pressure issues. Her feet have swelled up like watermelons. And Bob won't even so much as rub her feet for her. Sarah's mom comes over, her aunt comes over, they rub her feet, you know, they try to help her get her blood pressure down, come over, you know, sit with the baby for a little bit. But when you got postpartum, you can't see nothing but those tears or that anger. Like, however that postpartum is hitting you, that's all you see. And that was Sarah. That's all she saw was her postpartum. Okay. Fast forward, Sarah goes back to work. They are in the thick of things because Bob did not pay no bill while Sarah was on her maternity leave, and she was off for 12 weeks. And who knows what Bob was doing with his money, because it wasn't paying bills. You know, it's a lot of speculation around it saying that Bob just was blowing his money on drugs, which it did come out that he did buy drugs, and he claimed he was going to sell them, but in actuality he didn't sell them. And him and Sarah got into a big fight about it because, you know, she told him, you probably just bought them drugs and all you do is sit in this room and do them drugs. And Sarah don't even know where he hid them at, because she looked, she couldn't find them. She knew they was there, but she couldn't find them. So he hid them really good. He must have hid them in a shoebox or something, or in a pants pocket. But he pulls the drugs out and he goes, you want to see them? Here they go. And then he goes and dumps them down the toilet. Sarah was livid. Like, first of all, you blew our bill money because you're out here trying to be a wannabe drug dealer that you're clearly not. And then you waste the money by dumping it down the toilet. fix it like I always do. She goes back to work. She working. She's exhausted. She did not want to go back to work. She had told Bob that. She said, you know what? I really don't want to go back to work. I want to stay at home with my baby. Like, I don't want to work. Like, can you take care of things so I can just take this time and be with the baby? Like, you know, I've been working 2 jobs for all these years. Like, I just want to be at home with the baby. I just want to be a mom. Bob tells her, okay, but you gotta wait until after January. I need to get a car. Because if you remember, Bob don't have a car. It's Bob's fault Bob don't have a car. Bob could have had a car. There was a guy that was going to sell Bob a Monte Carlo for $1,500. Bob had the money. Even if he didn't have the money, Sarah told him, pay the guy every week. Y'all work together. You give him money. Every week y'all get paid. Nah, I'm going to wait until I got it all and I'll give it to him like that. Okay. Bob gets this money because, you know, it's during all the COVID stuff and the stimulus stuff. Bob had the money to buy the car. He didn't buy it because he didn't want to get the car until he had the money to get an oil change and a tune-up and a wheel alignment. A bunch of BS. Bob didn't want the car because it wasn't a brand new car. In Bob's mind, he needed a brand new car because Sarah got a brand new car. Sarah didn't want a brand new car. Sarah had to get a brand new car because her car was totaled. So instead of Bob getting a car, he just kept making excuses. And you remember the car that Bob had that he towed up? Well, apparently, he hadn't paid his car note in months. Like months. So they garnished his check. They took over $4,000 from him. And you know who he blamed that on? He blamed it on Sarah. He said, if you wouldn't have made me get a bank account, I would still have my money. How is that Sarah's fault? You're a full-on grown adult who doesn't have a bank account. And you're blaming Sarah for this? Sarah didn't make you not have a bank account. You're 40 years old. All she said was, how are you a 40-year-old man without a bank account? You went and got a bank account and chose to not pay your bills. So that's not Sarah's fault that you were not paying your bills. That is literally your fault. You weren't paying your bills. You can't blame Sarah for that. But he did. Which, again, if he would have just bought the car when he first got the money, none of that would have happened. You know, but whatever. You can be off work once I get me a car. So you got to go back to work right now, but once I get me a car, you could be off work. This is what he tells her. So she knows that means you don't get to be at home with your baby. You got to go back to work because Bob is never going to get his stuff together. And he didn't. He never got his stuff together. Okay. So, sorry, y'all. My seat is real uncomfortable. She goes back to work. Not only has Bob not been paying bills, but it's time for the rent to be paid again. They can't pay the rent because Sarah just went back to work. So, Sarah don't really have the money like that. Her check is real small. Excuse the shake, y'all, in the camera. I have to get an anti-shake mount. Back to the story. So Sarah, you know, she lets Bob know, like, hey, I need you to pay this rent. Like, I cannot pay it. I don't have the money. My account also is negative from, you know, all the other stuff that came out when you wasn't paying the bills. He say, okay, I'm gonna pay it. He don't pay it. They end up getting eviction status. This is the first eviction status they get in. She ends up having to get the money from her family. She get the money from her family. Her and Bob get in a big fight. She kicked Bob out. After she gets out of eviction status, Bob calling her, oh, I love you, I want my family, I want to come back, you know, tell everybody that I'm gonna pay them their money back. It's just the stuff he's telling her. Well, Bob never pays nobody. He never pays nobody. Sarah ends up paying everybody their money back. So everybody is upset because they're like, why are you still with him? Like, you need to let him go. Not to mention, he didn't come to the baby's christening. He gets up that morning and decides that he needs to go and donate plasma, because I forgot to fill y'all in on that part. Bob donates plasma every freaking chance he get. And then Sarah's actually not even sure that he donating plasma all the times he say he donating plasma, because some days he say he donating plasma, he only be there an hour. Other days he say he donating plasma, he be there for 4 hours. Like, the math ain't mathing. So she don't believe that that's where he be. She think that's just the lie that he used when he want to go out and cheat, because Bob been cheating on her since they met and horribly lying about it. Okay, so the morning of the christening, he decides, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna go to the plasma place. And she tells him, you know, it's our son's dedication today. Why are you doing this? Why can't you wait until afterwards? Because if I wait until afterwards, it's gonna be crowded there. I can go now and I can be done. You can come pick me up. I said, I'm not missing his service for you. Church starts at 11. If I haven't heard from you by 10, I'm just going to assume you're not coming. He calls her at 10:45 and says, I'm just now getting in the bed. And she goes, how can you do this? You knew what today was. You knew how important it was. My whole family is here. What am I supposed to tell everybody? So people start arriving at the church. Sarah was running a little behind, but the church is not far from her house. It's only like maybe 5-6 minutes from her house. So Sarah's brother calls Bob. Hey man, where y'all at? We looking for y'all. He goes, oh, I'm not there because I'm at work. This is what he tells her brother. So when Sarah gets with everybody, you know, her brother goes, yeah, I talked to Bob. He said he couldn't be here because he had to work. Sarah said, Bob ain't at work. Bob went to the plasma center. He chose to do that. He said that was more important, and that's not a job. That is not a job. He is not at work. Don't let him lie to you. Sarah's brother was very upset. It's just like the rest of her family. They were all very upset. Like, how could he miss something so important? Typical Bob behavior. When he came back, he chose to make it Sarah's fault. You knew that I needed to go there. Your son is more important, sir. Get your life together. Okay. That passes. Again, Sarah lets stuff go. She back at work. She tired. She's stressed because she up with the baby all night. Because again, Bob is not helping her. So she has to work all day. Pump while she at work. Get off work. Pick everybody in the house up. Bob, the baby, her daughter, everybody got to get picked up. Come home. Cluster feed, because the baby likes to cluster feed. He likes to stay on the nip. Sarah is exhausted, not to mention the cooking and the cleaning, because, and it's just Sarah's belief that Bob does these things on purpose so that he does not have to do them. He goes in the kitchen and he cooks, and this is the only person that Sarah has ever seen make eggs and waste them down the front of the stove. There's egg yolk all down. What kind of eggs are you making, Bob? Seasoning on the floor. Bob does not sweep the floor. He spot sweeps and misses all the dirty spots. Bob cleans the bathroom and does not clean the toilet. They have a small basket for clothes that came from the dollar store. But Bob likes to separate the clothes because he don't buy the laundry soap. So, Sarah does everything. And, she feels like this was his plan. Because, again, why do things so weird when you could just do them the correct way? But I digress. Back to Sarah being exhausted. She doing all this stuff. She's exhausted. Sarah starts to feel ill. Her throat hurt. She got a fever. Before Sarah got sick, the baby got sick. They took the baby to the hospital because he was super sick. He had a fever, and he's only a month or so old. So they take him to Children's. He's in the hospital. They run all the tests. They finally come back and they go, he has COVID. Sarah's heart dropped because she immediately knew that she gave it to him because she went back to work. It's her fault that her baby has COVID. She feels horrible. Not to mention, because her baby been so sick, she had put it out of her head that she wasn't feeling good. And of course, Sarah's sick too, like her throat, all this stuff. So she goes to her job. They swab her. Sure enough, Sarah has COVID. Nobody else in the house has it but Sarah and the baby. Sick as hell, both of them. Baby's so sick, they threatening to put him back in the hospital. Sarah's like, no. Tell me what I can do to avoid him going to the hospital. You gotta keep him hydrated, keep him hydrated, keep him hydrated, keep him hydrated. Sarah can barely keep herself hydrated. She is exhausted, delirious. Like she's standing up, she dizzy, she's falling down. Bob got fired from his job. So now, while Sarah has COVID and Bob should be helping her with the baby and making sure she's okay, he goes, I have an interview. Okay. Sarah don't let Bob drive her car anymore because, remember I told you? Bob don't like to come back. Bob doesn't go where he's supposed to go and come back. Whenever Bob get in her car, Bob disappear. So Sarah stopped letting Bob drive her car. Especially after he got it stuck in the mud. She said, no, you can't drive my stuff. Okay. She gets up to try to take Bob to this interview. And damn near passes out. He goes, no, you too sick. And it's a snowstorm. She goes, no, you too sick. You can't do it. So I'll just go to the interview and I'll get something to eat while I'm out so that you can eat. She's so sick that she just goes, you know what? Okay, fine. That's fine. You can do that. Okay. Her and the baby fall asleep. She wake up. It's 11 o'clock at night. He left at 2 in the afternoon. So she looking around. She gets up. She looks out the window. So she starts calling him. And she's like, where are you? He goes, I'm on my way home. She said, okay. Midnight, 1 o'clock, roll around. Now he not answering the phone. Not answering text messages, nothing. She even went back to bed. She get up the next morning, start calling. He finally answered the phone. And she's like, where the hell are you? Where are you? Where's my car? You took advantage of me because I was sick. Where are you? Do not make me call my car in stolen. He goes, I'm at my mom's house. I had to come down here because I lost my wallet. So I stayed at my mom's house. And she goes, you must think I'm a fool. You lost your wallet, so you went all the way to your mom's house instead of coming home. Well, I came to find it first in the city. She said, why the hell are you in the city looking for your wallet if your interview was in Livonia? That don't make no sense. You're not making this make sense to me. Bring me my car. He goes, okay. So he finally brings her car. And again, when he brings the car, it's like 4 or 5 hours later. She goes, you got to get out. Like, I'm just so over this. I cannot deal with this BS from you anymore. This makes no freaking sense to me. She takes him to his mama's house. They don't talk for a while. A couple weeks go by. And they finally start talking again. He come back. And he randomly one day calls her and says, somebody dropped my wallet off, but all my stuff was missing out of it. Not one time did he go to Secretary of State to replace his ID or try to get another Social Security card. You want to know why? Because he never lost his wallet. He had it the whole time. The whole time he had it. He just was lying. Time move on. They not in a good space because Bob's still not paying bills. Not the way he should be. At this point, Bob is giving money, but he's not giving enough. He gives under his half of what he should be giving. So their rent is $1,200 at the time. He is giving her $500. Not giving her money on nothing else. No lights, no gas, no internet, no cell phone. And they're all on the same line. He's just not helping her with none of the stuff. Sarah's getting real tired. She's just getting real fed up. You know, it's just really annoying her. Bob don't drive her car no more. But what he do is he don't come home from work. And he don't answer any phone calls or text messages. And then when he talked to her a couple of days later, it's always, oh, well, you don't like taking me to my mom's house. I went to visit my mom. Who goes to visit their mother and don't answer the phone? Because if you only at your mom's house, you'd answer the phone. What do you have to hide? Like, that makes no sense. It ain't adding up, buddy. So they just having all kind of problems. Sarah not happy. Sarah's not attracted to him in that way because she like, why, what am I sleeping with this guy for? He don't do nothing for me. He not taking care of his son. He nasty in the house. All he do is lie. He ain't giving up no money. I'm wasting my time. And I know he cheating. Like, no, this is not working for me. So we done made it all the way to the baby's birthday. He about to be 1. Bob had to pay for the party stuff, which he was not happy about, which is crazy because it's his son. But he wasn't happy about paying for this stuff. Ooh, I ain't got no edges, y'all. He had a whole attitude the day of the party. Like, didn't want to come out the room. Then when he did come out, he was trying to just be in the house smoking and stuff. It was crazy, y'all. Telling people at the party, I paid for this whole party. And it just was a lot of BS. Ended up picking a fight with Sarah over some chicken because he swore up and down somebody stole his chicken. Was mad that Sarah didn't hold the party for his mother and father, who showed up 3 hours late. Like, the world doesn't revolve around you and your people. They knew what time the party was. His father had been to Sarah's house multiple times, so there's really no reason that he picked up Bob's mom and then went the opposite direction of where Sarah lived. I'm going to end it here. See you guys back with part 5.